Oliver Twist, a fiction novel by Charles Dickens. Meet Oliver Twist. Orphaned and alone at birth, Oliver must survive the harshness of life on his own. Sent to work in a workplace for most of his life, and later forced into apprenticeship. Conditions in the workhouse were awful. Oliver was the victim of a systematic course of treachery and deception. Oliver escapes from London and meets the artful Dodger. He soon becomes one of Oliver's closest friends and attempts to turn him into a criminal, a pickpocketer. Meet Fagin. He teaches young boys to make their living by pickpocketing in exchange for shelter. Fagin wants to make Oliver a criminal and says, "Once let him feel that he is one of us. Once fill his mind with the idea that he's a thief and he's ours." Meet Nancy. Nancy is a member of Fagin's cruel gang, but it turns out she's rather sympathetic towards Oliver. Nancy feels that it is almost impossible to lead the life of crime and says, "I am chained to my old life. I loathe and hate it now, but I cannot leave. I must have gone too far to turn back, and yet I don't know." Meet Mr. Brownlow. Mr. Brownlow takes Oliver under his wing and rescues him from Fagin's gang. Although there are many conflicts during this book, the biggest one is between Monks and Oliver Twist. Although Oliver Twist does not know this, Monks is trying to prove that Oliver is a criminal so he will inherit all of Oliver's dad's money. So, what will happen? Will Oliver be proved a criminal? Will Monks get the money? Oliver Twist was written during the Victorian era and has many characteristics of that time, one major being the criticism of the poor and how they were treated. Another major characteristic of the Victorian era that is seen in this book is realism. In this book, you see authentically how the poor were treated and how they lived during this time. The last major Victorian era characteristic seen is the shame of women. The women in the novel, Agnes, Rose, and Nancy, have different social standings and moral strength. Dickens was well aware that these women were victims of society, poverty, and men, and criticized the cruelty of Victorian society and people's views of fallen women. Oliver Twist is an exceptional read and is good for all ages. It helps to teach important life lessons all throughout the book. Oliver Twist receives a 5 out of 5 star rating. Go find out now. Will Oliver be declared as a criminal? Will Monks get away with stealing his inheritance? Read Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens.